All right, so this is the home screen for the PD4. When drivers first sign in, they should use their TMW credentials, last three, first three, plus their password, which would be date of birth and their initials. I'm going to go ahead and sign in for the test. Also, as this is signing in, I will tell you that drivers should verify their logs at the start of every shift, not at the end. So be sure you're telling your drivers to do it at the start of the shift. Requesting logs. Okay, so this is the initial screen that you will see. This time bar here will tell a driver how much time they have left until they need to take a break. It won't be their full clock. So make a note of that. This will be the amount of time until they need to take a break.
And if it's red, then the driver, of course, has done something wrong for the previous day and doesn't have any time, so would need to figure out why that's not green. So you always want to see green.
Okay, so this is telling us we have uncertified logs. Here's our statuses. So the ones you'll want to choose from are on driver, sleeper berth, then obviously you have your PC time or your yard move. Don't ever use on not driver unless you are part of a team. So if you're a team driver, you can. Other than that, don't do it. If you're signing out or if you're going on break that's not sleeper berth, just hit rest break. Okay, so those are the statuses for training purposes. We'll go on not driver, or on driver, I'm sorry. This will take you into your shipment. This is part of your e-logs to make sure you are up to make sure you're DOT legal. This is not part of your actual workflow. So make a note of that. When you first sign in and see the shipment screen, you want to enter in your shipment and trailer to make sure you're legal with DOT, but it has nothing to do with workflow. Okay? So we will continue without one for training purposes.
It won't ever do this because our module isn't on a truck. It's pretty glitchy. So it always works better in a truck when the truck's on.
Okay, so on the driver overview page here, if you want to see your full time shift, how much time you have left on your 70 and all of that, you can click on the green bar and then use this arrow to scroll down so that you can see how much time you have left as far as your shift's concerned. Hit that to go back to driver overview. Here's the rest break. Like I was saying, if you sign off or if you want to log out, that's not a sleeper berth. Anytime you want to go off duty, always go rest break. Okay, you can hit this change status button here to go back to change your statuses to what you need. Here is the logs. This is where we can go in to certify our logs from the previous day or days. So if we were, for instance, to hit certify here, it'll always ask for your password when you're certifying to make sure no one else is certifying your logs. You can agree, and that's how you would go in to certify your log time. Okay, you can also go into events and look for a specific event, and this would be how you would annotate fuel stops. So for instance, if this was a oops, bear with me here. Go back into logs, events, click on an event, and then you can annotate. So if I wanted to make this a fuel stop, I could plug that in, hit done, submit, and then it would be annotated as a fuel stop. You can always hit details here to see a more specific thing, and then you can hit grid to see the actual grid time. Driver options, this would be where we would run our diagnostics test. If you ever have a problem or you need to check it, you want to make sure the first 3 always pass. Right? Am I forgetting anything on that?
Nope, that's right.
So if you're having a problem, that's where you'd want to go. Where you're going to say no for now on that. Anytime this defect found pops up, always hit no and save it. Okay. So back to the main home screen, that E-log is where we were looking. Resources, this is where you can go back in and update your shipment and your trailer, again for DOT purposes, not for workflow, so you can always get to that through there. And then you can add a driver if you're part of a team. Okay, and then we can click the home screen. We've gone through logs, so now we'll click on driver. So again, that's clicking on the driver button. This could be where you go in and add your pre-trip and your post-trip inspections. So if you need to do that, you can click on the inspections, and then you can click new, and then you can do any of these inspections. So a lot of drivers that I talk to don't know how to do the pre-trip and the post-trip. So again, walking a driver through a pre-trip or post-trip inspection, click on the driver, click on inspection, click on new, and then you can get to it through there. Another note, so if they don't find any defects and all goes well with the inspection, they can go ahead and do that. If they do find a problem, they need to call you. So just hitting yes on there won't do anything. They need to actually call the dispatcher, let them know they found the problem, and go from there. Also, this driver user guide, ELD driver user guide, drivers will need to know how to find that and where it's at if a DOT officer asks. So that user guide that they get in through driver, right there, they'll need to know that. Anything to add on that? Okay. Where are we at here?
Roadside.
Roadside inspection. Okay, so if driver's going through a roadside inspection, they can hit data file transfer, and then they can do email or web services based on what the officer needs and add in the comments.
Yes, so if DOT pulls you over and wants you to send them your logs, they will indicate whether it's going to be email or web service, so you would just check whichever one he has indicated, and then in the comments section, type in the information that the DOT officer gives you, whether that's the email address or the web service address. Just make sure that you don't fat finger that information, because if it's not transposed correctly, it doesn't go to the right place. So, and it also always asks you for your password anytime you do that or try to get out of it, so we make sure it's you doing it and not somebody else. So other than the messaging tab, you don't ever do anything in system, won't need to do anything there. You don't need the vehicle, the navigation scanning, or the OER. We do not have an onboarding navigation system. We use a different platform for the scanning, and unless you're a specific case with a truck with a camera, you won't ever have to worry about the camera.
Go ahead and stop it.